That's right. We're talking about Sinners. Sinners is Ryan Coogler's fifth feature film and his completely original film that has not been associated with any existing story or property. And it's about two twin brothers returning to their hometown in Mississippi, only to find out that greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Now, before I continue this video, I gotta address the elephant in the room. Kind of made it a point in my past on the channel to kind of be modest about talking about secular content. And I do realize that I'm kind of pushing the envelope here. This movie has a lot of anti-Christian themes in it. It's a bit spooky and it's even a little bit freaky deaky.
Whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey.
And if you feel like God has put it on your heart to not associate yourself with this kind of content, I completely understand. Everybody has their line of what they can view and what they can tolerate. And if this is not you, by all means, don't let anybody tell you any different. So by me saying all of this and reviewing it, I hope you know that I believe that this film is truly special. I'm going to be splitting this video into two segments. The first being the filmmaking aspect, because I think that is important here, and I am kind of biased. And the second, talking about the Christianity aspect of it. So I've actually been following Ryan Coogler for a fat minute. I have seen every single one of his films in theaters except Fruitvale Station. And truthfully, I've really never been the biggest fan of his filmmaking. Yeet. My only exception to that is Creed 1. Creed 1 is heat. One of the best sports movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's probably the best Rocky movie, if we're being honest. And don't at me, you know I'm right.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
I think Fruitvale Station was decent. Black Panther 1 was super overrated, but it's okay.
The real question is, what are those?
You are so corny.
Black Panther 2, I didn't really like the first time around, but I eventually came around and said it's pretty decent. And while I think he's nowhere near a bad filmmaker or anything like that, he's just really never wowed me, like I said, except for Creed 1. But a while back, I was talking with my friends and some of my family, and I was like, you know, I would love to see him just make his own film, like a wholly original film, because all of his films have been either related to an IP or something to do with history. So I wanted to see what he can come up with all by himself. And it's like my man heard me. It's like he got my phone tapped. When I first saw the reviews of this movie come out and people were getting carpal tunnels with the amount of word-raving reviews on this movie, I was like, yeah, okay, bro, cool story. Let a real man review this. Y'all are selling out and I ain't buying it.
Get this thing out of my sight!
So then I saw this film and it was like a chemical reaction ignited in my brain. As someone who's a lover of the art of film and who creates video content as a part of his career, I wholeheartedly believe you are doing yourself a disservice by not seeing this film. In a sea of IPs and universes and sequels and remakes and reboots, this is wholly original. It is a rarity to have an original film like this that everybody is united on. In a lot of ways, this is just kind of a basic vampire movie full of tropes that you'd expect from this genre, but man, does Ryan Coogler add so much more than that. It's the setting, the time period, the character dynamics, the spectacle, the theming, and the music. Oh, the music! Oh!
Finger licking good special! That's what I'm talking about!
I used to play the piano and trombone in my early years, and while I did enjoy it for the most part, unfortunately, it just never clicked with me. But I love the art form of music and the history behind it. My dad even whispered to me, Jordan, it's been so long since I've heard good blues music like this. And this film showcases beautifully how music can transcend culture and time with its meaning and potency. And it leads to one of the coolest cinematic experiences that I've ever experienced in my 27 years on this planet. And it would be so easy and so lazy to make this film just a racial allegory for racism and championing black culture because the main vampire is white. But no, the fact that the main vampire has also suffered at the hands of white culture is just so And if you know anything about Irish history, man, those people have suffered. This film is about celebrating spaces created for unity and culture through pain, as well as music, and how those spaces can be invaded through external forces. Coogler using the tropes of vampires needing to be invited into a place, illustrating that kind of invasion is just so inspiring. While the last portion of the movie is a full vampiric action, the first act is dedicated to establishing the characters and their relationships with each other. And for me, the most impressive thing about it is the fact that it showcases and foreshadows the sinful acts that will be committed, tying into the themes of the film. Lust, wrath, gluttony, greed, and envy are all present here, and it ends up being every character's demise in some way, shape, or form. This film is an easy 10 out of 10. And the last live-action film that I gave a 10 out of 10 was Parasite in 2019. It's been that long. Certified hood classic. Okay, let's talk about the Christian aspect. In classic vampire lore, Christian symbols like crosses and holy water are potent weapons against evil. However, Sinners inverts this trope. The film portrays Christianity, particularly as practiced in the Jim Crow South, as either powerless or complicit in systemic oppression. And at first, I didn't really like this angle because I felt like they were downplaying Christianity, but I don't think this was the case. This subversion challenges viewers to consider how religious symbols and institutions can be co-opted to uphold unjust systems such as American slavery. And as I've stated before, the musical theme underscores the idea of music as a form of transcending earthly struggles. And while it's ultimately Jesus who should be the means of transcending our earthly struggles, music has still been utilized as a means of getting closer to God and praising his name. Gospel has been an art form that has inspired many generations, unifying Black culture in our praise to God. Classic hymns are also lots of times just ripped from scripture, mainly Psalms, and the fact that the Bible references music in heaven. And the fact that the lead vampire gets destroyed by a pillar of fire after blaspheming God and mocking his word in a river reminiscent of baptism is nothing short of poetic. If you have the stomach to watch this film, go see it. You are doing yourself a disservice if you don't. It's good to be back, y'all, and I hope to see you next time.